What's up, guys? It's Gio, and welcome to a new extension of a series that we're doing here on the channel. This is a push to top 500 in the UBAHS tier. And before we jump into all the traditional stuff that you guys are familiar with, I want to explain why this has turned into push to top 500 as opposed to push to 1500. If we jump into what the ladder looks like, even on something like UBAHS, push 1500 would leave me at roughly the rank of like 400. Now, I am predominantly an OU player, or mediocre mons, because I love mediocre mons and I love OU. I'm more familiar with those two. So I will naturally, because I've had more experience in those two tiers, be better at them and can achieve the rank much more easily. And like we saw in UU, which I'm still not really sure up to this point whether I'm going to try to finish that or not, that we couldn't make it to 1500. But we came awful darn close multiple times, or even made it to the top 500. The top 500 would get us to about 1487, which isn't an amazing difference, but it still does make a lot of difference in the tier. And even when you get going, even when you go to things such as like NU, like top 1500 would get me insanely high in NU, but top 500 would get me to about 1400, which I do think is a more fair assessment. So that is what we're going to do. We're going to try to get to top 500 in the remaining tiers, and we'll see how that goes. So first of all, we're on UBAHS, like I said, and this is going to be our team for this week. It's just UBAHS offense, which I spelled UBAHS offense. And basically what the team is, it's a variation of an OU Mega Gengar team. First we have Deoxys Attack, which is just a focus sash lead with Ice Beam because there's dragons everywhere. And then we have a Stealth Rock, Spikes, and Magic Coat. And then we have a Resto Chesto Rotom Wash, which the objective is to get off slow Volt Switches in a Mega Gengar so that it can trap and kill whatever things it likes. We also have Choice Banded Scissor, who's here basically as a good stop to Xerneas, also to get off slow U-turns in a Mega Gengar. Then we have the star of the show, Mega Gengar, Sludge Bomb, Shadow Ball, HP Ice, and Thunderbolt. And then we have a Xerneas, which is basically just, alright, we have our Hazard Setter, our Momentum Squad, we have the star of the show. Now we need two things that just come in and kill things. So we have Geomancy Xerneas with HP Fire for Scissors and Thunderbolt for pretty much everything else for neutral coverage, along with Moonblast, which we're going to be using most of the time. And then we have a E-Killer Arceus, and if you guys aren't familiar with E-Killer, it's basically just Swords Dance, Extreme Speed, and then two other moves. I chose Iron Head and Earthquake just because Iron Head for fairies and Earthquake for Aegislash. So, let's jump into the first battle that we're doing in Push 1500 in the UBAHS tier. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this as much as you guys have been enjoying the Push to 15, as much as you guys have enjoyed the previous series. Alright, so this guy is a very threatening team, but I suppose I should get used to that because it's UBAHS. We have a Kyogre, which could potentially be a problem. We have Deoxys Attack, which is probably just a hazard setter, but could be a sash lead. We have probably E-Killer. We have Umbreon. We have Mewtwo, which is probably a Mega, and we have Scissor. A lot of these things are very, very versatile, which I'm going to have to get used to as well, but we're leaning with Deoxys Attack. Versus Scissor, I just want to get rocks up. I know I can tank any one hit because of Sash, and he's going to be able to bring me down to Sash with whatever he goes for. I hope he ends up U-turning, because U-turning will allow me to stack another hazard, barring the switch into Arceus. But he just makes a hard switch out to Kyogre, which frankly isn't a great play on his part, because this is going to allow me to get up a couple of hazards. He ends up going for Aqua Ring, which is interesting. He now goes for a Scald. It's going to bring me down to my Sash. He doesn't get the burn, which means I'm going to get all my hazards up, which is bad news bears for this guy. I'm going to go on a Rotom now because it can tank Scalds easily, and it's going to allow me to get a free Volt Switch off. Ends up going out into Umbreon, which is fine by me. because I will tell you there's a thing for this, and it's called Xerneas. And when you, little Umbreon, hang around in the UU tier, you can't be hit by things like Moonblast from Xerneas. But in this tier, you can, and it's great. I'm going to Geomancy here, anticipating the switch, but he stays in Wishes, which frankly isn't a great play on his part. He's going to be losing 25% on every Mon that switches in, meaning Deoxys attacks Sash is broken on the switch in, and it gets knocked out by Xerneas. It gets outsped by Xerneas at this point, and this is looking like a Xerneas sweep. I don't think there's a whole lot he can do. I'm going to start the timer just so we can move on with this battle and jump into a new one. And that's the potency of this team, because Mewtwo's not living this hit. Geomancy Xerneas does not care whatsoever, and this dude's team is about to get swept, because I can HP Fire that, I can Moonblast the rest of his Mons. Here comes Scissor. It's probably just going to go for a Bullet Punch. He has no reason not to, but HP Fire is going to be able to knock him out, and even Bandit, he doesn't go for Bullet Punch, but even Bandit Bullet Punch only brings Xerneas to about 91%, which is the reason why this team relies on hazards a lot in order to take out things like Xerneas with Scissor. But now here comes Kyogre, or Kyogre, because it has the rain. Ha! Anyway, I'm going to go for a T-Bolt here, which will be more than enough to take out Kyogre, and this is looking like a clean Xerneas sweep. And we're going to hopefully pick up a lot of these at the bottom of the ladder, just because Xerneas is so incredibly good. And the combination of Xerneas and Mega Gengar pretty much allows Mega Gengar to selectively take out whatever walls it wants to. So if someone's running a lot of special bulk, Mega Gengar can come in, slowly wither down the special walls, force teams into a lot of switches with E-Killer, and I can just weaken physical walls for E-Killer with Mega Gengar and allow it to come in and sweep. But yeah, this guy's gonna be done in a couple more turns. Even like a crit E-Speed shouldn't be able to take me out from here. I just can't click Geomancy by accident like I almost did. That'd be so embarrassing. Although, I think I would be able to prevail anyway. He E-Speeds, he would need a crit in order to take me out, but it doesn't matter. That is going to be good game. Picking up the nice 5-0 in the first match. Do I carry super? Yeah, I carry superpower. I was just wondering. He ends up protecting for no reason whatsoever. You're not living this Moonblast. He also has Deoxys attack. I forgot about that thing. So that could potentially... Oh no, Deoxys attack just didn't get knocked out for some reason. So that gives us the first win of the series. We're jumping into another match though, and we have another very threatening team. It's 100% Uba. Uba. But we're leading with Deoxys attack again, because that is a standard lead on this team. He has Genesect Dows, which is cool. I'm getting up Rocks, because Rocks will be very important. If you're not banded, which is good. Banded Genesect is probably the best form of Genesect. You end up just X-scissoring, which does a lot of damage. You still could have E-Speed, but I'm going to get up a single Spike to just rack up some more damage, because that's fun to rack up. But Genesect can potentially do a lot of work to things like Xerneas on my team, so I do need to watch out for that. He does go for the E-Speed, which is smart. Only allows me to get up one hazard, but I'm going to go for a Willow here on Genesect, because even if he switches into something like Mewtwo or Deoxys, ends up going for another E-Speed, which probably isn't a great play on his part, because now I just pretty much crippled that thing for the rest of the match. I'm going to go for a Hydro Pump here, though, because I don't fear whatsoever any move he wants to go for, and it allows... Actually, I'm going to go for the Volt Switch here, because since I don't fear whatever move he goes for, I can either A, get switch initiative if he switches, or B, get off solid damage and heal at speed anyway. So I do think that is my best play, and you know, if worst comes to worst, I trap Mewtwo, or I trap... Wow, that did nothing. Or I trap Deoxys. Anyway, I'm going to go into Scissor here, and probably just go for a Superpower, because Superpower is going to nuke something. I'm kind of tempted to U-turn here, because I don't want him getting a switch into Giratina O, but he goes for Technoblast, which actually does a lot of damage. I probably should have remembered that, but Choice Banded Superpower is going to be more than enough to take out that Genesect right there. And I apologize if I am being a little bit quieter than I usually am in this video. It's because it's about midnight right now. I kind of got to bulk record a lot of stuff because I'm going out of town. So that's that. Here comes Rayquaza. I'm kind of expecting a V create here, and I know Red and Wash can take a V create. At least I think it can. I think you go straight away for the Dragon Dance. I'm gonna Willow, although you're probably Lum, but I would like to get that Lum at least gone. You're not Lum, so that's great for me. I'm going to. I know you're going for a Dragon Claw, so I'm going to go into Xerneas here. Because you have no reason not to Dragon Claw. And now I don't know what you're going to do. But I'm going to Geomancy, because I'm not really fearing any attack that you want to go for. I just halved your attack. I'm fairly certain I can knock out everything on your team, because I'll break Lugia's multiscale. And you just weaken yourself even more. Did me a huge favor there. So I'm going to go straight away for Moonblast. It's going to take this Rayquaza out no problem. It's going to, I'm fairly certain, beat Deoxys one-on-one, but Deoxys is nothing to play around with. Deoxys is one of the best Pokemon, probably one of the best Pokemon in Ubers, just because it's so versatile. Although Giratina is also up there, because Giratina literally never dies. So we have Lugia here. Psychic, Flying, T-Bolt is going to do a lot of damage. T-Bolt is going to knock out damage. That crit may have mattered. But it's not like he was going to do anything back to me. Here comes Deoxys attack. I'm going for a Moonblast. If he knocks me out with Psycho Boost, that's a bit unfortunate. But I can come in and Revenge Kill with Scissor and probably Pursuit Trap him. But I do outspeed. Because he's not Deoxys S, or he's just running kind of a weird spread. Here comes Giratina O. Giratina O is going to fall to Moonblast easily. And this is looking like another Xerneas sweep. So that's kind of the goal with this team. You basically have 3 offensive threats, 2 momentum setters, and a hazard setter. And Moonblast is going to nuke Mewtwo, even if it's Mewtwo Y. But yeah, Mewtwo gets taken out. That is a good game. That gets us up to 1,077. So we're going strong in the first couple of battles. I'm looking to make these about 20-25 minutes apiece, so we'll see how that goes. Looking at his team, he has like a quick passing Scolipede, Deoxys, which does a lot of things very well. We also have Mega Kanga, we have Genesect, we have Darkrai, and we have Arceus. I'm leading with Rotom, which was probably a mistake. I didn't mean to lead with Rotom, but I'm going to Volt Switch, and hope you don't set up spikes, because I know you like spikes, and I don't like spikes. Ends up just going for an SD straight away, so that is going to tell me to go right into my Arceus and hit you up with an Extreme Speed, because I'm pretty sure you die to Life Orb Extreme Speed. A lot of things die to Life Orb Extreme Speed, but I just don't want you quick passing this into Mega Kanga, because if that happens, then I could be in some serious trouble. But at least I'm... Oh, dang it, he's going to get the Baton Pass off, meaning if he goes into his own Arceus, I lose. I'm fairly certain I lose at that point, unless I can get a lucky... He actually goes into Kanga, which is better for me. I'm going to avoid the Fake Out by going into my own Gengar, because he's going to Mega here. I need to get rid of his Fake Out. He ends up going for a Power-Up Punch, which I'm immune to, so I'm cool with that. I'm going to go for a Sludge Bomb here, sacking Mega Gengar. Because you have to sack a lot of things in Ubers, especially when stuff like Mega Kanga's running around, and he gets a crit Aerial Ace, which probably did matter, but you know, it's whatever, that stuff happens. But looking at his team, nothing wants to take a banded superpower from Scissor. I think a lot of things die. A lot of things die. Yeah, he got lucky with that crit. That may cost me later on. But he was at +2. But Aerial Ace Mega Kanga. Dude, you have Mega Kanga. Normal Gengar is not that bad to deal with. Power Punch is not going to do that much compared to a banded superpower. That's going to get Kanga out of here. He kind of had to sack something to that because Genesect takes a lot of damage. Arceus and Darkrai get just straight up knocked out. Here comes Deoxys attack. I'm going to go into my Rotom here. I think I'm going to lose this match. as you go for the Fire Punch. Okay, I'm Volting because I'm Volt switching. I have no reason not to. It's going to break your sash if you stay in. However, you just make the good play. You make the good play and sack Scolipede. However, I'm going to go into Deoxys Attack, and I'm hoping to bait out his Darkrai here. And the goal is going to be to try to get him to put me asleep with Darkrai. I'm going to Magic Coat, and I'm going to bounce back his Dark Void and put him to sleep. However, he goes into Arceus Ghost, that's cool. That's actually pretty cool. I'm going to get up some rocks here because rocks will be helpful for later in the match. You just go straight away for Judgment, and Judgment plus E-Speed can take me out here. So I'm just going to go for the Ice Beam as he ends up staying in, and it hits me with another Judgment. That's fine, though. I can come in with Rotom, and I'm going to Volt with Rotom to see what he wants to do. If he wants to stay in, that's fine by me. He could very well be Support Arceus and Defog. That would kind of stink. You actually go for the Calm Mind. No, 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 no. Stop. We are not playing this game. So I'm going to go for the Pursuit here, and hope you set up another Calm Mind. And this is where like Mega Gengar would be very, very helpful because I could just switch in Gengar. That does about 46%, which is not enough. I need at least one crit. He ends up just judgmenting and taking me out. So this is where I need Mega Gengar, and I'm not going to be able to get it, which is unfortunate. However, I do have one saving grace, and that is Xerneas, and we're looking to pick up our third Xerneas sweep of the episode here. Going for Geomancy because it's my only hope, and I have to hope I either get a special attack drop or knock him out with this Moonblast, or get a crit. He has a +1 special defense. That does about 59%. That's not great. He's continuing to Calm Mind. I gotta get a crit here, or just knock him out. I am able to knock him out, and he may have misplayed there, which may result in him losing the match, because Deoxys Attack gets knocked out by Xerneas. Darkrai gets knocked out by Xerneas, and HP Fire knocks out Genesect. So I'm going to go for another Moonblast here. Hopefully you're not like random Flash Cannon, although I could see Flash Cannon, but I don't think it'll knock me out from this range. You just end up E-speeding because you know you cannot speed me. And this looks like another Xerneas sweep, which is pretty cool. And if not, I have E-Killer to come in and clean up Genesect. No, I'm sorry. Deoxys Attack is good, but it's not that good. I'm gonna Moonblast again. As long as I don't click Geomancy, which I've done a couple of times, then I should be okay. Genesect, chill, dude. I'm gonna go for the HP Fire, as you should probably just E-speed here, but that's probably gonna be the match. Yeah, that's gonna be the match. So we're gonna do one more battle. We're up to 1,111. I've kind of worked with this team a lot. I played a lot of Ubers with this team. So this is going to be our last match of the episode. We have Charizard, so I'll kind of want rocks up. We have Gengar, we have Aerodactyl. He has a lot of potential megas. I don't agree with bringing Aerodactyl necessarily, but you lead with Gator straight away. I don't really want you setting up Dragon Dances, but I suppose I can deal with it by burning you later. No, not. I don't want another set of rocks. Sorry, stacking rocks is not a thing yet. You just go straight away for the waterfall. But you've kind of allowed me to set up enough hazards at this point to where I feel comfortable bringing in E-Killer or bringing in Gengar, as you end up waterfalling as opposed to Aqua Jetting, which is kind of a misplay because that extra hazard damage can matter later in the match. However, I'm looking at his team and looking at things that can stop a Xerneas sweep right now. I suppose Gengar can stop a Xerneas sweep, so I gotta at least weaken Gengar before I go ahead and click Geomancy with Xerneas. No matter what Zard form he is, he's losing 50% on the switch, and he went for Earthquake on my Rotom Wash. That's either some next level predicting skills, but you had no reason to do that. You probably just should have waterfalled. You Ice Punch, which doesn't do anything at all. I'm going to Volt Switch and Clean, take your Feraligatr out from stock damage. So that's pretty good. I'm going into Scissor, though. No, I'm going into Arceus, because you don't have a whole lot that... actually, you do have stuff that threatens Arceus, but I'm going to go out into it anyway, because Arceus is a beast, and Arceus does not care. If you have Toxic on Umbreon, Basically, I'm going to Swords Dance and then click E-Speed until you decide to bring in Gengar, and then I'll Iron Head and hope for a flinch. Actually, you'll outspeed me at that point, so that's going to be kind of disappointing, but, you know, stuff like that ends up happening. Here comes Gengar. I'm going to go into... Actually, do I just stay in? No, E-Speed could be helpful for cleaning up later in the match, so I'm going to go into Rotom, because Rotom is looking pretty darn expendable at this point, and Focus Blast does a lot of damage. I'm going to rest on the off chance you go for Focus Blast again and miss, because that'd be pretty cool. I don't see any item, which either means you're sashed. Okay, you make the smart play. But I'm going into Scissor here because I can Pursuit Trap you with Scissor, and that's going to be pretty cool. And if you decide to switch out, you lose Gengar. You end up just Focus Blasting, which I suppose is an okay play, but you lose Gengar anyway. And Scissor has done its job for the team. You the real team player. So I just need to get Xerneas. The goal is get Xerneas in on Umbreon, and I can potentially do that here. I'm gonna go out into Gengar as a lure to try to get him to keep Umbreon in, or yeah, he ends up going for the foul play. So that is a lot of damage. And I'm going to try to trap him here and go for the Sludge Bomb. I'm sacking Gengar to get a free switch. You end up going for foul play again. That's okay, because now I get a free switch and can potentially win the game with Geomancy Xerneas. Because Geomancy Xerneas is some of the most broken things in the tier. You end up Toxicking, but I don't think it matters. Moonblast clean Okos all of your team from here. Even Zard, I think, dies. And if not, E-Killer comes in and cleans up. So that's why I kept E-Killer around. Basically, this team is Trap. Wow, you have Protect. Alright. Basically, this team's objective is to trap things and then out-prioritize things. You can't get the double Protect there, which means you do get taken out. Toxic damage is starting to rack up, though. But as long as I can remove Aerodactyl and Mewtwo from play, then I'm going to end up winning this match, I do think. He ends up going to Aerodactyl. I can Moonblast again. I do believe I outspeed Aerodactyl. So we'll see how I do. Yeah, I end up clean taking out Aerodactyl there. So I believe I get 2 more turns left on the field. If I'm kind of hoping you go into Mewtwo here, because Zard will be easier to deal with at 50% health. You do end up going into Mewtwo. You're doing me all sorts of favors. I'm going for Moonblast, unless you're like random like Quick Attack or E-Speed Mewtwo, then I don't think you're going to be able to do much to me. And because my HP number is odd, I may end up living this toxic damage. We'll see. Actually, no, it didn't really matter. But here comes Zard. I'm not really fearing Zard. I'm going to go for the Moonblast and end up taking Zard out. It's probably Zard Y looking at his team. Yeah, it's Zard Y. But it doesn't really matter because Xerneas is just that strong. So that is going to be today's episode. We gained 135 points in today's episode. Hoping to repeat that in tomorrow's episode. But if you guys did enjoy the new branch of push the top 500, then make sure to leave a like. It really does help show support for the series and the stuff that I'm doing on the channel. Also, make sure to answer today's comment question of the day, which is, do you guys like Ubers? Do you guys have experience in Ubers? And if you do have experience, what has it led you to think about the tier? Additionally, make sure to subscribe if you guys are enjoying the constant content. With that, I'll catch you on the flip-flop.